Hey, 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 everyone, come on in. I got my little shaker thing. I guess you can call it, right, Dr. Robin? Because I'm super
All
excited.
right.
We have worked out our technology issues, guys. Woohoo, woohoo. Celebrate with
Woo-hoo.
me. So as you, yeah, as you are coming in, I just want to welcome you. I want you to put your name, type it in the chat. Um, Make sure that you tell us your name and exactly where you're joining us from. If you see me turning away, that's because I'm turning to look at Facebook just to see who I could see, joining us. And, just come on in, come on in. We are so super excited that you are here. We're continuing our conversation. Hey, Valerie. Val is in from Wilmington, Delaware. Deborah Giddings is in. Good evening, ladies. She's saying good evening, Deborah. Georgia is here, and Nancy Atkins. And y'all, let us know where you're joining us from, please. Let us know, because this is part 2 of the conversation. And I got my little purple ribbon and shaker thing. I call it a shaker thing because I'm so super excited because we have worked out our technology issues. Dr. Robin,
Woo-hoo.
earlier we were doing like this, guys.
Woo-hoo.
We were dancing, saying,
Woo-hoo.
woo-hoo. Yes, yes. Can I tell you? When you are purpose driven and when you have a purpose, when you have something to do, when you know that you were created for more and that you've got a purpose, you get a no matter what mentality. And I have to tell you guys, I wanted to delete the earlier Facebook Live because I said, oh my gosh, we had so many glitches. I was on mute for a while. We couldn't hear Dr. Robin for a while with all of those juicy information. But this was real life. And people need to see real life, that life sometimes just happens and you can't just stop. You have to keep going. You've got to keep
Absolutely.
moving. And sometimes you just have to pivot. And so we're in a place right now with everything that's going on that it is time for us to pivot in whatever it is that we're doing. To introduce to you my friend. We've been friends for, I'm not going to give these, then we will date ourselves, right? But it's been for years. We were childhood friends and adult friends. And it has just been a wonderful experience. And Dr. Robin, who is a psychotherapist in St. Louis, Missouri. Am I right, psychotherapist, Dr.
Yes,
Robin?
that is correct.
Yep, Dr. Robin Moore Chambers, right? And so I just call her Dr. Robin. I'm gonna tell you guys, sometimes it's just, look, Robin, this is how it is right here.
Yes, that's it.
Let's just talk about this. This is how I'm feeling right now. This is what's going on. Because the one thing I love to have, guys, is I love to have forward moving conversation, and I love to have transparent conversation, because this is a time that we're living in where people are in need and people want to see, listen, you are not alone, that you can get the help, you can be happy, you can have joy, you can experience all of this, and it's all by choice. Why? We have to choose it because it is our birthright. It's already there for us. So come on in, Dr. Robin. I'm going to let you go ahead. We're going to get started as people are coming in. Yay. I see Sherelle Martin is here with us. Sherelle, where are you from? Let us know where you're from. And Dr. Robin, I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself and let the conversation begin. Woo!
Let it begin. Yeah. Hello, Facebook Live. It's great to be here. It's good to be here with my good friend and sister. We called her Little Esther. I'm her senior, but she is
Not
she's
much
such a
of a
one.
senior, y'all.
Yeah, she's such a wonderful friend, such a real person, and somebody that I love, is very dear to my heart for many, many, many years. I can actually say that we never had a fight.
We have never had a fight. We have always got along. We've laughed
Yeah,
together. We've cried
yeah,
together.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
She was sometimes my lookout girl.
I sure was. Got in trouble together.
Yeah. Don't let them know I'm out here smoking outside the church. All right. So
All the time. All the time.
but yeah, we started today a conversation on healing and talking
Yeah.
about healing and wellness. And I do a lot of work with others on helping them to find their places of healing. And you will, on my website, you'll see the word awakenings a lot, because I recognize that I woke up. I've had series of awakenings.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's a process. It doesn't all happen in one time, one shot, right? But we've been talking about that and talking about the importance of us knowing. And I know it's not just women on here, but if they're men or women, we have a right to be healed.
We have a right. We have a
We have
right.
a right. It's a human right. We have a right to celebrate ourselves. And I've always loved to serve. And growing up, I never really learned how to serve me. But I think I've served others quite well. Now, that's what I said early this morning. I found my balance. I recognize how important it is to serve and celebrate me.
Yeah.
And as I tell my daughter, she said, "You stole my look."
Yeah. Hey, let me tell you real quick, Dr. Robin, while we pause for a second. I want to welcome Carolyn from Canada. And guys, listen, I want you to heart it up and love on Dr. Robin. Just don't leave her out here. Let her know that you appreciate her being here. And so on Facebook, heart her up. Go ahead and say, hey, welcome, and let's communicate. Let's have that dialogue. So tell us, Dr. Robin, she said you stole what?
She said I stole her look because I found my swag.
Yeah, I love the look, by the way.
Yeah. I found my swag, and I'm still finding it. And I realized that it was there. I just didn't know how to discover it. So you can imagine how enlightening and exhilarating it was for me when my girl put the book out, and I texted her and I said, a great woman once wrote, when you stop searching and discover who you are, it's extremely powerful. Because most of the times we don't see our greatness, and we're taught to be humble, and to be humble is good.
Yeah.
But if God did something great, how dare we not acknowledge that something great is happening here?
Yeah.
And many times, and I still tear up when I think about it, because God has brought me such a long way, and I'm still on the path. I haven't arrived, but He did something great. And in my later years, I've been asking Him, and I said, God, what were you thinking when you made me? So you can imagine, Esther and I didn't talk about this, but our minds were. So when I started reading the book, I just sat down. I just couldn't stop reading it. She said, when you stop searching and discover who you are, it's extremely powerful. So when you discover, there's things that you have to do, because there's some emotional issues, some problems there. I had a rough start, severe emotional issues, a lot of pain, some emotional abuse, childhood sexual abuse. Didn't feel worthy. And though we feel we're not worthy, we are worthy to love and to be loved. And
definitely worthy to love and to be loved.
Yes. So you just sort of keep going. You're gifted, you're talented. But eventually I said, God, what did you have in mind when you put so much in me? What were you thinking? What were you thinking about? And I start to talk to Him like that, because I've learned to have a relationship with God. We sit up and talk like this. I say, I don't really want to do that, but I know you want me to. Or I'll say, Lord, I don't like this. Or what do you think about that? And so we just talk together, and He began to show me. He began to show me a lot of things about me, because I was a child prodigy without being told I was a child prodigy.
Yeah.
And Esther, not Esther, your sister-in-law, Dorothy.
Dorothy.
Yeah. She, as a kid, she said, Robin, she told me, she said, you're a genius, you're an art and music genius, because I could play music without lessons, and I was an artist, and I was a writer, and I did well in school. But at the same time, I woke up one day at 22 years old, and I had 3 children.
Wow.
And so people were baffled. Well, she's gifted, she's talented, she's smart. Why she got 3 kids? And with 3 fathers. So that doesn't tell you anything else. It tells you that I was wounded.
Yeah.
In the midst of people loving me and I have a mom and dad that wanted the best for me, and but my choices were my choices. The choices I was making was saying something's wrong, and it was way past that time that I began to get my healing. So I went through having children starting at 17 and 18 in my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And literally by the time I was 22 or 22, 20 and 21 years old, I had 3 children. And thank God for my mom and dad and the support that they provided. I didn't get support from fathers. And it
One
could
of the kids are my god kids, right? Yeah.
one of
One of-
absolutely. And all 6 feet 5 of him.
all of them.
Yeah. But I'm not totally healed. I'm on a process of healing. I've come a long way.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that I learned to understand what happened to me and what was with me and what I could do with that, how I could move beyond it. It doesn't go away, but the sting, God removes the sting.
Right.
But it's a lot of work. I didn't just wake up one day and say, whoo, I'm out of that now. No, it goes with you.
I love what you said. You didn't wake up one day and said, whoo, I'm healed. That it takes work. Yeah, I love that. Yeah, talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of work. First, I made the decision, as we said this morning. How do you know you need to be healed? You got to first recognize you need to be healed, and I recognized that I needed to be healed. Of course, when I gave God back my life and got saved, that doesn't mean you're healed. You just said, "Yes, Lord, forgive me for my sins." It doesn't mean that you don't have that baggage, and it just drop on the ground. You say, "Hallelujah, I'm free."
Just doesn't work that way. And not even everybody, Robin, even goes through that same process or even have the same belief system as that. And it still doesn't mean that you can't be healed. It still doesn't mean that it's just boom, it just happens by osmosis.
Exactly. It has to be, it must be intentional.
Yeah.
And I knew that I wanted a different life for my children and for myself. And I wanted more. And I knew there was so much in me. I just didn't know how to get to it. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. Because I didn't know at that time I needed counseling, I needed healing, I needed emotional healing, I needed to resonate with what had happened and then learn. So I'm not surprised that I was led to be a social worker. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised that I was led to go back and get my master's and then go back to get my PhD and to work in counseling psychology. However, along the way, I recognized that I also needed to be, as I'm learning and learning the book knowledge, I was also learning to be healed myself. Because I said this morning, I don't want to be that person that dies. And they say, how'd she die? She died from not taking the medicine that's sitting next on the table by her bed that she made, right?
Yeah.
That's so true. So I take my own medicine. I recognize my places of failure and opportunities of growth. If I tell people they can be awakened, then I recognize that I can be awakened, and I work on those things. And I don't just go to work and talk to people and then go sit down. I work on myself. I want to, if I do well with clients, I want to know at the end of the day, I gave myself that same effort, if not more. And so I work on myself. I look at areas that of growth. So we were saying, how did I get through some of that?
Yeah.
I wanted it so bad. And I when I learned more and more about having a relationship with God rather than just being in a religious moment, then I saw him as somebody personal that looked at me and smiled and said, I made you.
Yeah. That right there, Robin, that right there is so powerful. This isn't about religion. It's not about denomination or anything like that. It is about relationship. You know what I mean? And so many times you said something earlier. You said, you were going to church. And so many times we go to church over and over and over again, and we're looking for healing. but sometimes it just does not happen there, right? And because it doesn't happen, and wherever our house of worship may be, wherever that is, whatever denomination or religious belief system that you may have, I just want to make it really, really clear as we're talking to people tonight. It is that, I call him God, but we all come from different backgrounds and belief systems, and we all have a different relationship, right? But God loves us all, no matter what. And so, since healing is our birthright, he didn't say, well, it doesn't belong to you because of this or that. And I think that's what religion does. I think religion separates people, but it's relationship that brings us together. And so that's what we're here to talk about, is being healed through having being connected to where we could heal ourselves. Can I just real quick tell you one of my favorite stories, right? When you're talking about that, and you were talking about how broken you were, and so that's what led you to be a social worker and led you to be all of those other things. I mean, I was around a lot, especially in the younger days when when Robin was pregnant and doing all kinds of I look back at some of those times and we laugh about it, right? And guys, many times we'll talk about it and we will just crack up laughing because, listen, were we not in church all the time? Yes, ma'am, we were. But see, you could go to church and you could still die not healed.
Absolutely.
Right? You could not be healed. So again, we're reaching out to everybody here, right? So yeah, you could go to the synagogue, you could go to the to wherever your house of worship is, and you could not be healed, right? Because healing is something that you've got to have a knowledge and realize that you're very much worthy of it. So I think about, of course, I believe, I've got my belief system. I believe in God. I believe in the Bible. And I love one of the stories with the woman who had the issue with blood. She wasn't in a church. She was in a crowd. Now, some of you know the story, some of you don't. And it's okay, because I'm just going to tell you real quick what I love about the story, because I think, Robin, is for everybody. And this is where we talk about that whole 360 healing. And then I just want you to talk some more about it, is that she pressed her way no matter what. She said, look, it's been 12 years. I've been ostracized. I've been talked about. I've been hurt. I'm separated from my family. And so when we are hurt, because there's all different kinds of healing that we need to be healed from. And it's just one thing piled on top of the other, to where after, she was 12 years, she was distraught. She just couldn't handle it anymore, to where it affected her happiness. And by the way, one issue leads to another issue, and then that affects not just your whole well-being, but it affects you mentally, physically. It affects everything. So she pressed her way. And then when she touched the hem, the scripture says that when she touched the hem of Jesus's garment, right, says she was made whole. For me, that meant that he just did not heal her physically, but he knew she needed some more. Now, listen, not going through the whole thing. If y'all not sure, you go read it for yourself, okay? So, but he made her whole, Robin. He touched her mind, her body, he did everything. So she can begin to walk out in well-being, having a sense of well-being, being happy. And I love that he just didn't address one area. And that's what we want to do. See, we can live our life in the midst of the pandemic, right? In the midst of whatever circumstances that we are facing, we can be healed and we could experience happiness as well. So talk to us a little bit about that. Just talk to us about whatever you want to talk to us about. So I'm excited. I'm just excited. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of hard to talk about it without tears, because I'm always moved by miracles that have happened to me, and miracles that have happened, and then I expect miracles as I work with others. I believe I don't advertise as a Christian therapist. I advertise as a professional, behavioral health professional with a doctorate degree. I don't want people to think that I'm stuck in one place, because I'm not. I'm
That's
very
right.
out of the box.
That's
I
good.
am not proud. I am not ashamed to be liberal from that perspective, because I think if Jesus were walking the earth in the flesh, I think those that are hurting the most, his arms would be open the widest, because that's how I got in.
Love it.
And so I follow that that model. And so, but am I praying? I pray for everybody I work with. Right now, it's all through Zoom. I pray before I talk to them. I pray when I read their paperwork. I work in trauma. So as a trauma therapist, I work with a lot of children and adults that have been abused, victims of narcissistic relationships, etc., physical and sexual abuse. And so I have my own therapist. I think every therapist should have it. It's like the circle of life. Every therapist should have a therapist. Every life coach, every pastor should have a life coach and a pastor.
I have because I've got 3 coaches. I do. I've got, Jonathan. Of course, Jonathan is my pastor, but then we've got a pastor, and then I've got coaches. I've got Lisa Nichols. I've got Coach Sean Smith. I've got Susie Carter. I have coaches, so I 100% agree. I've got Anthony Morris as a grief coach. So yes, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah. So when I began to work in severe levels of trauma and with women and of childhood sexual abuse, I went back to visit my therapist. I didn't want to become a vigilante.
Yeah.
I didn't want people to come see me and all I can think about is what just happened to them. I'm like, let's go get them. And if you think you're so professional and you're so wonderful that you can't be taken in by the pain that you're hearing, we're human. We're not working with machines. Yeah. And I wanted to be balanced. And I worked with my therapist, and we talked a little bit about some places that I've been healed, and revisited some issues. And I had a vision, one of our last sessions, and I I'll briefly share. I went to the house that I was raised in. I went into my bedroom, and my dress was on the bed, and it was laid out, looked like it was pressed. And the dress and the little long things on the side that you tie up into a bow. And it was sunny in there. I passed by my mom. I waved at her. I went up the back steps, and I was able to walk out of there. And there was another dress that was dark. It was balled up in the closet, and that wasn't my dress, but this one was mine. And I walked down. I walked boldly down the stairs. I left the house. It was my house that I grew up in. And there was another dream that I walked on a bank with a little girl, and she had the dress on. I was holding her hand. When I got to the end of the bank, like to jump down and get in the car, she was no longer there. And my daughter interprets dreams a lot. And she said, "Mommy, that's your healing."
Yeah.
She said, you walked with her and you left her there. And there's more coming for you, and you're finding new levels of healing. I shared that with my therapist, and he said, that's exactly what I think it means, Robin. He said, you're intentional about your healing. You want to work with others, just as a matter of fact, just because we've been through stuff and we're in the helping field, it doesn't necessarily mean we're healed.
That's right.
Healing,
so true.
Healing has to be intentional. So sometimes we're working with other people.
Yeah.
And we're not, now we can share tears with others. We can. They teach us that in graduate school. We're not working with machines. We're just not supposed to outcry the client.
That's right. That's right.
Let's go get them. You just want to go, you want to stop the pain, but it's not our job to save the day.
Right.
And the way we want to do is have sympathy for people. We want to have empathy and feel with them in their journey and help them. But we want to maintain a person that can be someone that can help them along their journey. So you can only do that if you are seeking and I would say discovering, as you're seeking your own help and your own healing.
Yeah.
And so I said that to say there's probably a lot of people on here that are drawn to helping others. And you got to go back and do that what, when, why, where thing when things are going on in your life, so you can pinpoint what's going on with you, dig it out, or look at it, address it, and then you can move on. You say, does that take care of it? Yeah, over and over. If you continue to do it, somebody you need to forgive. Sometimes you need to forgive yourself. Sometimes you need to forgive yourself. And I needed to forgive myself. I remember one time I said I couldn't give my children fathers. And God spoke to me and said that was not your responsibility to make sure that they stayed around.
Yeah. I love what you said, that sometimes that we have to forgive ourselves, and that's something I know that I learned from because we do have to forgive ourselves, and I just didn't really realize the level and the depths of how much you really do need to forgive yourself until just really being on Lisa Nichols' campus, to where she talked about, how deep we must go in forgiving ourselves, to where in so much, you look at yourself in the mirror, and for whatever it is you say, Esther, I forgive you for, and you begin to say those things, and you do it all the time, because that is just so cleansing and healing for you, because as you're doing it, it's really speaking, I'd like to say, to your subconscious, right? And letting your subconscious know, listen, I'm forgiving myself, that my past is the past and I'm ready to move on. This will no longer be an obstacle to my healing. I am no longer will feel as if I'm not worthy of something. I'm not worthy of love. I'm not worthy of wealth or more money. I'm not worthy of walking in my greatness simply because of the mistakes or the trauma I've had, and therefore I have not forgiven myself. So be able to look in the mirror and say, whatever your name is, I forgive you for, and you just continue to make that list of what you're doing. In these times, Robin, we're in the pandemic. It appears to be getting worse. Here in the United States, we've got elections going on, but yet even around the world, the pandemic has affected so many people mentally, emotionally, and so therefore it's affected their well-being. It's affected them financially, just everything. How can they really, when we're thinking about mental and emotional healing during these times, how can you speak to that a bit? How can you help them? What are some things that they can do while they're at home, or we can't hug each other like we really want to hug each other, and we can't the holidays are coming up and we really can't be with our families like we would really like to be with our families. How can we take care of us, not everybody else, but ourselves in this time?
I think it's so important that we all learn to celebrate ourselves. And you celebrate yourselves in many kind of ways. Self-care is self-celebration, self-care of doing something that you like. If you're creative, creative people are most happy when they're being creative. Do some writing, even though you might have to fix it up and get an editor later, just get it out of you, out of your head and onto the paper. Get some, I usually wear a nail polish that's called, what's it called? It's some kind of fiery orangey. I don't have it now because I haven't wanted to go to the nail shop. Okay.
Right.
However, I said, I'm going to buy the polish and do it myself.
Yeah.
Because I like my nails to look that color. Different kind of, you don't have to be going anywhere to look nice for yourself inside your home. Finding out what is it about you that you think is great.
Yeah.
We know everybody, we know what's great about everybody else. And but it's all right to say, I did well with that. I did good. I did good right there. Mm-hmm. And to celebrate yourselves. And sometimes you're not feeling like it. But I think you have to be intentional about it. I'm going to go in and take a bath. I'm not going to do a shower. Mm-hmm. I'm going to put some candles on. I did that myself. And the light's going to be low. But I had to be careful because I don't want to fall asleep and drown. And I live alone, so there'll be nobody here to get me. So I make sure that I'm alert before I do it. But I've done it a few times, and that was rare for me. but I encouraged someone else to do it. So I wanted to try it myself. I wanted to know that I could actually say, I've done it. It's just really great. It's just relaxed. And but self-care is a part of the healing process, because we're helping everybody else. People are calling us and
say that again, Dr. Robin. What's self-care? It's what?
It's a part of healing.
Yeah.
It's a part of the healing. And I continue to say process, because it's not a one-time shot. It's not just, about Martin Luther King said, a piece of bread does not satisfy hunger.
Yeah.
You eat a piece of pie, you want some more. You want some more the next day. But we tend to know that in church, in our jobs, and working with groups and on boards, but very seldom we give ourselves that type of attention. Someone said she thinks she's a stuff.
Well,
I was like, wow. I remember having such low self-esteem that I never would think I was the stuff, for lack of a better word. And I said, well, yeah, I do. I'm not arrogant, but I think I am wonderful. Yeah, I think we need to believe that we're great and wonderful. I didn't say perfect.
Yeah.
I said, I think when God made me, he said, and that's real good.
Oh, yeah.
It just took a while. Yeah, it took a while for me to catch up and to catch up with what he meant. And I'm still learning. But what he said, that's good.
Yeah.
So I gotta believe it. So when I walk in my swag, and my earrings dangling, and when I'm very tall, so my neck is long, so my earring get to hang down and not jump up.
Yeah.
It's not that I'm think I'm the best in the room, but I know I'm the best for me. And learning how to do that and how to exemplify that. Someone said, Dr. Robin, we got a new name for you. The kids, you worked at the schools before the pandemic. And I have braces. They said, Dr. Robin, you're Dr. Wire. Oh God, I'm an X-Man. So, but why did I get braces? I had 2 teeth just decided to move on their own once I got my 50s. And then I got to the end of 50s. They said, we ain't staying there. We're moving. It's hereditary. So my family, I got the braces. They're straight. The braces are still there. But that was me saying I couldn't leave it like that. But it was my choice that I wanted to do that for me. Did not know that I'd be doing a lot more speaking engagements, and I talk for a living, teaching college and talking to clients. And whatever that thing is, that you feel that you need to do. And I want to say this to you too. There are exercises that you can do. Mindfulness. I teach a lot of mindfulness techniques. I love
mindfulness exercises.
A lot of Buddhist principles. And you're a Buddhist? I said, I didn't say I was a Buddhist. I said I teach Buddhist principles.
They're very good principles, by the way.
And there are many Buddhist principles that are in the Bible. You can read the very same words, just a little change here and there. It's about mindfulness. Thinking. I teach students that are going to be counselors and psychologists. I said, you got to relax first before you can help people relax.
That's right.
You got to. So during this pandemic and the COVID-19, and people are they're out of store. You're in the house with people that you didn't even know, and now you're in the house all day, and you haven't worked through some things. Kids, now you got a new respect for educators. Because your kid is the issue. Yeah. But the main thing is learning how to relax your mind, how to stop and do nothing. I have learned to be okay with silence.
Yes.
And I'm a musician. I sing. I play music. I want music around me all the time. And my daughter was telling me the other day, she said, Mommy, sometimes I just sit down in silence. And I know she's not just sitting in silence, but she's also listening. And I've learned how to do that myself, especially this year more than any other year.
They even have silence retreats now. That's my understanding is that it's powerful. I honestly plan on doing one. Georgia is saying yoga is another way to exercise the mind. Yoga is powerful. Absolutely. And it is another way. And Michelle Henry put mindfulness and Buddhist principles. Yes, ma'am. Listen, I practice mindfulness. And I've read Buddhist principles, practice them when it comes to my mindfulness and healing. And a lot of that, as you said, it's also in the Bible. But sometimes we just get so stuck, right?
We
And
do.
so we really have to look at changing our belief systems, because that's why many of us can't get any further than where we are, because we've shut everything else off. And in these times where people, as you said, people are now forced to stay home, and now you're really getting to know that husband or that wife, or that child or that loved one. You just really get to know them. You're like, oh, I didn't know they were like that. Well, they've been like that all along, but you just never took the time. So now, we think that there's something wrong with us when we don't take that time to heal, right, ourselves. Self-care is not selfish. And I laugh because one day my sister told me, Robin, my sister Miriam said to me, every time I see you, your hair is different. Hey, y'all, that's a part of my self-care, okay? I will change my hair faster than you can blink your eyes. And as one of my friends said, she said, go ahead and keep doing it, because that, for me, I just love doing it. That's a part of myself. That's a part of my self-care. You understand? Now, since COVID, I change it even more, because that's just something I do to just, it's a healing process for me as well.
Yeah.
So I love it. Tell me just a little bit. It's almost 9:15, and we want to respect everybody's time. But tell me some things that they can do to really begin to look at themselves, to begin to heal themselves, and what are some very simple activities that they could do at home, where they are, man, woman, boy, girl, child, that can do to bring forth healing for themselves.
Well, remember this morning we talked about that what, when, why, where process?
Yeah.
Anybody can do it, but you just need one criteria: honesty.
Yeah.
I would say openness and honesty with yourself. You ask yourself, what's going on here? So that's the what. What's happening? Something's going on. Others are telling you, you're noticing it. Or maybe you're just sick and tired of everybody making noise or something. What's going on? How is it affecting you? Does it, when and where? You begin to process, how is it affecting me? Why do you think? Your why may be right, it may be wrong, but at least you're getting it out there. You're talking about it.
Hey, Val, can you write those in? The what, when, where, why? Thank you. There, she's doing it. Great. Go ahead.
And then another one is what, before you say where do you go from here, where, or should I say, when is it most impactful? Does this happen at the family reunion? Does this happen when you go to church? Does this happen when you're on Zoom? Does it happen? Just begin to ask yourself question, what something's going on with me. What is this? And then where do I go from here? Once you've processed it and you've got it out in the open and you're talking about it now, couples can do it together. What's wrong with us? We helping everybody, and we're the youth pastors, and we're doing all this. Then when the Zoom goes off, you go in the room and I go in the other room. Yeah, I'll be running and chasing each other around the house naked. Nobody in the house.
Right.
The two of us.
That's right, girl. That's right.
Why are you in there? We've helped all these couples, and why now you in there and I'm in there? You want something to eat? No. You want something to eat? No. See you tomorrow. What's going on? What's happening? And then where do you go from here? You just can't leave. Once you begin to open doors and answering questions and counseling questions for yourself, other doors open. And then you have to say, where do we go now from here? That's an exercise you can do with teens. And so where do you go from here can be so broad. Will we get counseling? Do we need to just concentrate on one of these questions? How long has this been going on? Most behavioral therapists and psychologists, we all know what a behavioral program is. And the whole point of the behavioral program is an ABC. We want to monitor the baseline of what's happening with the behavior. That's the B. But the A is the antecedent. What was going on before that behavior happened? Where were you? Did it only happen on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays? And then C, What's the consequence? So it's ABC, the behavior, the antecedent, and now what's happening. How did you respond to the behavior? And with that, you can find out diagnoses. We can find out the help that a person needs. First, you get the prognosis. There's so much you can find out from that exercise. And this is the same thing as I'm saying here. What is happening? When is it happening? And how long has this been going on? And now what do we do about it? Maybe we got the two answers, first part correct, but we're dealing with it wrong. Well, we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
All wrong. You got to address it right away. As it goes into a little room where you say that, and it just piles up. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Then sometimes it's too hard to address, So those are the kind of, and you can do anxiety exercises. Some people have anxiety that don't have a clinical diagnosis of anxiety. You can take deep breaths.
Oh, deep breaths work, y'all. Now, you guys know that. Those of you who coach with me and know me, that I'm a firm believer in doing deep breaths, because that definitely brings down your anxiety levels.
It really does.
Phenomenal. It does. It does.
And here's a trick. You count to 100 in tens, but we can do that easy. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. If you want your mind and your brain to turn a corner, count back from 100 to 10, but in a different sequence. See if you can go with me. 98, 87,
87,
76,
76,
65,
65.
But I'm going, start with the bottom number, 54,
54.
Start with that bottom number, 43,
43,
32,
32,
21,
21,
10.
10.
So you got to, guess what happens? You got to think about it.
Yeah.
It's easy to say 190, 80, 70, 60, 50, 50, 40, 30, 20. This way, you got to think about it. I don't care what kind of math genius you are. You got to think about what's the pattern here. So you come up with other patterns. By the time you get to 10, you're not thinking about what you were angry about. You're thinking about the numbers.
The numbers, yeah.
So it gives you enough chance to stop, to breathe, relax. Then you replace the negative thought with a positive thought. He said, I'm nothing. That's not true. I'm something. She said that I'm not going to do that well. I'm going to do that very well. I'm going to work on it. I am not a failure. Yeah. I'm not a bad. You begin to do affirmations, but before the affirmations, you got to get your mind right and get your mind off the negativity and trick your brain to turning a corner with the sequence of numbers.
You could also do some NLP with that, right? Some physical, and so when that negativity comes in, just as Dr. Robin says, you change it. And then sometimes using physical to, like, when it stops for that negative self-talk, you could do something that, that causes you to, reminds you to, oh, I need to now stop that, put pause, stop that negative self-talk, right? And switch it. You could begin doing the numbers and then switch it and begin doing the powerful self-talk. The powerful self-talks that I am somebody, I walk in greatness. From the day I was born, I was created with greatness in me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
And really doing that. Yes.
Yeah, you have to, it's just like in Esther's book, you have to really begin to recognize that you can discover there's some great things there. I promise you, and every one of us, we have to discover it and not just keep searching. But once you recognize there's something great, I am wonderful. I am effective. I did do a good job with that. It's okay for me to say that. That's not bragging. That's not vanity.
Yeah. And if I made some mistakes, that's okay too. Because in life, we make mistakes, things happen. So if I make mistakes, it's okay. It's okay, because that's how we learn. If we had a smooth road, what will we learn? But it's our life's journey. It's the mistakes that we made. It's the challenges that we've had that causes us to build us up to who we become as we are becoming that. You understand what I mean? And so And so, don't continue to beat yourself over mistakes that you've made, but look and see how do I move forward? What do I do now? What I love about this, Dr. Robin, is that as we're going to begin to close, it's powerful, powerful conversation, and the conversation of how we can be healed and we can choose really healing, because it's our birthright, and our healing will lead to happiness as well, which is just a sense of well-being, and that could happen where we could always be in a state of well-being, no matter what's going on in our lives. And so this has been great. We've got some good comments. Ashley says, so true, keep pushing on. Judy says it's okay to celebrate ourselves. Ashley said, oh, I like that one. Let's see what else. Just Valerie, Melissa said yes. Just trying to read some more comments here. Self-care is the most important thing, and so guys, really good comments, and look at exactly what you are doing for your self-care. What are you doing so you can begin the healing process? So this entire week, we come back again tomorrow at 1:30, where Julie will be joining us, and she's just going to share her journey of healing as well. And we're here every day, Dr. Robin, until Saturday at from 1:30 Eastern Standard Time every day. And during the day, we're only going to be talking about 30 minutes of just how to be healed, that 360 healing and happiness. And what's great, guys, if you don't know, if you didn't hear me say it earlier, Dr. Robin is going to be joining us at our women's retreat. Woo! Celebrating you. In March. It's a 5-day retreat. We'll, as you stay on with me for the rest of the week, I'll be sharing more information, but you got to be here to hear it, because it is an exclusive retreat. It is not for everyone. It's not for everyone. And so I'm so super excited that she will be joining us on that powerful retreat. And I'm just excited about, go ahead, Robin.
Yeah, I just wanted, when you're done, I just wanted, before we leave, read my poem, Awakenings.
Yes, well, go ahead and read it now.
Everything that you hear in this poem, and it's on my website, it's a part of my journey that I've been through. It said awakenings. Awaken. I want to dedicate to every person that's on here, especially if you're from the girl group. Awaken to the person you want to be, meant to be, who you can and will be. Awaken from the sleep of despair, broken dreams, broken promises. Awaken from fear to try again. Awaken to new opportunities, new journeys, new paths. Awaken to self-awareness that liberates you, baby. Yeah. Awaken to new mercies every day. Awaken from the dark places that kept you bound, chained, unaware of your true self. Awaken from put downs, names they gave you and what they did to you. Awaken from bad relationships, wrong choices, and lostness. Awaken from unforgiveness and self-hatred. Awaken to a new you, baby, mature and a balanced you, loving you, accepting yourself. Awakenings, effortlessly being awake, effortlessly being you. Awakenings.
Oh, wow, I love it. Come on, y'all. Let's love on her. Heart her up on Facebook. Come on.
Woo!
That is powerful. That is powerful. Go ahead and heart her up, guys, on Facebook or wherever you are listening. Heart her up. That is powerful. Awakenings. That is powerful. I want to tell you, I'm going to post her website, because Dr. Robin also started her new cartoon series called Dr. Robin's Super Shiro, for children, encouraging them, letting them know about their greatness, who they are. And it is so good. So listen, you want to get on there, you want to download it, you want to subscribe to her so you could hear what's going on as she's encouraging and motivating young children. So I love it. Georgia said that was deep. Love it. Michelle Henry said awakenings. Michelle also said she gave out the list, and the list of everything you said. She said a what, when, where, why process. 2, anxiety exercise, deep breathe, count differently to think about it in a pattern. 3, replace negative thoughts with positive thoughts. And I'm going to say not just with positive thoughts, I'm going to say with powerful.
All right. Take
Powerful
it.
thoughts.
Yeah.
Powerful thoughts. And then she says this 4, discover your greatness even with the mistakes. Yes. And of course, choose healing. It's a choice, y'all. It's a choice. Powerful comments. They love you. They love you. They love you. They love you. This is so great. Miriam said, love it, Dr. Robin. Love it. Awakenings. Guys, you gotta, that's powerful. So Melissa said that's wonderful for children. It's not just wonderful for children, it is wonderful for all of us. So we can awaken to our true selves no matter what. No matter
No matter what.
no
And
matter
what, no matter what, whatever cost, by any means
whatever the cost.
necessary.
That's
Yeah.
right. I just posted it again, Georgia. It's right there. It's in our chat, where you can see her website. Yeah, it is. It is powerful, guys, and I can't wait for Dr. Robin to be joining us. We'll be doing a few things leading up to our powerful, powerful, dynamic, phenomenal women's retreat that we're only allowing a limited amount of ladies to come in March. I believe it's March 16th to the 21st. And Dr. Robin's going to be there along with a few other people. And this week, I want you to join me this week as we've got different ladies. We've got Yetta joining us from Canada. I believe it's Ottawa, Canada. We've got Yasmina joining us from Belgium. And then Nikki from California, and so there's a few people. Julie's from Florida, and so we've just got a phenomenal week just designed. So come on in. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Get on my website. If you can put my website on there, Val. Join my website and connect with me, so you can get my emails, my blog, my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. And the book that Robin is talking about is Why Stepping into Purpose. You can purchase that on my website as well. And stay tuned, because as we're going through this week, listen, if you can't join us live, make sure you listen to the replay and put #replay so we can know that you are there. All right. And I can't wait to see you guys. I can't wait for more nuggets to be dropped. Don't forget, you've got your homework assignment for tonight. You've got your homework assignment that can take you through periods in your life. Where are you right now? And can I add one more thing? Because Dr. Robin said it earlier. She said, be real with yourself. Listen, don't take the ego out of it. Take the pride out of it. You know what I mean? If you know that you're struggling in this area, let's not pretend, because you're not going to be healed if you pretend you're okay, but you know you're really not. All right. So let's get the ego out of it, right? Let's take your ego off. Let's take your pride off. I heard someone say that when your ego is in place, that's edging God out, edging God out. And so let's take that out, right? So Val, can you put my website on there for me, please? And make sure that you're joining us. Sonia said 100. So I am, again, super excited. Thank you, Dr. Robin. Is there anything at all that you would like to close with?
Yes, there is. I hope you never lose your sense of wonder. You get the feel to eat, but always keep that hunger. May you never take one single breath for granted. God forbid love ever leave you empty-handed. I hope you still feel small when you stand beside the ocean. Whenever one door closes, you know one more will open. Give the heavens above more than a passing glance. And when you get the choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. I hope you all dance. I love you. I appreciate you. Dr. Robin, I appreciate you. Love you guys. Have a wonderful evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. Make sure that you share this and invite others.